A Quiet Place 2 is actually surprisingly good. I thought that it was going to be like a cash-in sequel because I don't know. That's kind of what it felt like. Although the movie, it's not like the first movie ended on like a definitive note or anything, but it kind of felt like this was going to be a cash-in sequel. But that's definitely not what it was. It was actually very, very good. Like very good. Even better than the first one, in my opinion. But anyways, just like the first one, this one has like very heavy Last of Us vibes, like extremely heavy. And I know like Last of Us is not the first game to do zombies and stuff. Like I know, but Last of Us has a certain vibe to it, and A Quiet Place definitely has that vibe. I'm not really sure how to explain it. I guess it's like a Walking Dead type vibe too, but the zombies in Walking Dead aren't quite what they are in Last of Us, if you guys know what I mean. Like, they're more threatening in Last of Us, and the monsters in A Quiet Place are obviously much more threatening than either of those franchises, but the feel is very similar to Last of Us, which is not a good thing. I mean that in the best way possible. Overall, I really enjoyed the characters still. I enjoyed them in the first movie, and I enjoyed them in the second movie too. Not all of them though. The little boy was fucking annoying, like super annoying. And like I get it. But you know you can't act like that. You know you can't act like that. This little bitch was acting like my leg while everybody was trying to just survive. Like, you have to calm down. You have to chill out. Like, that shit actually pissed me off while I was watching the movie. But anyways, the little girl, I forgot her name. The daughter, she was on her goat shit. She was like basically the dad from the first movie. She basically took over that role, and I mean that's on purpose. They like, they wink nudge nudge at it during the movie, so it's not like it was unintentional. Like, it's definitely an intentional, like, it was definitely intentional on their part. Cillian Murphy's character was also very like realistic, I'd say, because we kind of have this family which are like, oh, we can rebuild, but then there would also be people who would be like, yo, fuck this, like this is hopeless, get the fuck away from me. Like, I can't do anything about it. I can't help you. And although, again, not spoiling anything, he doesn't keep that attitude the same the whole movie, which I mean that was pretty obvious from the get-go. He wasn't gonna stay like that the whole movie, or else they wouldn't have introduced him. But it's kind of cool to see the contrast between the main family and Cillian Murphy's character, and I think it added a lot to the movie. What I would have also liked to see a lot more of is actually the beginning, like the start of the movie. I would have loved to see more of that, like the day one stuff, even day two, day three. I would have loved to see at least maybe the first week, to see like what kind of changes were made. How did they adapt? How did they figure out that sound was the problem? Like, I guess you kind of have a hint at that at the beginning of day one, but they couldn't have confirmed that the sound was the only thing. You know what I mean? Like, I would have liked to see a little bit more like flashbacks, I guess. And before going into the movie, I actually thought it was going to be mostly flashbacks, but it's actually just that first sequence at the beginning, which is not disappointing or anything, but again, I wish we would have got a little more. Just like the first one, a lot of jump scares, a lot. And I feel like this one had a lot more, maybe, or maybe at least a little bit more. But even though they still had a lot of jump scares, I feel like they were building tension better with the monsters that they did in the first movie. I'm not sure how to explain it, but in the first movie, it was like the feel that like you didn't know what these things looked like. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't know what you were fighting against. You kind of got quick glimpses of them, but you weren't sure what you were fighting. But in this movie, you already know what they look like. So they kind of did different things with it, right? They kind of did the typical horror movie stuff, but it was different. For this franchise, it wasn't done before, so it felt different. And as a result, I actually think it was better. In terms of horror aspect, I think it was better than the first one. Although we're not gonna sit here and lie and say that A Quiet Place is a super scary movie. It's not. The first one wasn't. The second one isn't either. It's more of like I'm not even sure how to qualify it. Obviously, it falls under horror, but I'm not really sure. It's certainly not up there with the list of scariest horror movies at all. Like people who are like deathly scared of scary movies, like, you don't. I'm pretty sure you could try this one. Other than the jump scares, I think you'll be fine. Overall, as a result, I actually think it's a better movie. I actually prefer it to the first one. Not saying that the first one is bad, of course not. But I actually prefer this one overall. If I had to give it a grade, I would give it an A. I feel comfortable giving it an A because I feel like it did what the first movie did, but just better. And I think I would also give the first movie an A, maybe like an A minus or something, but It's not much better than the first, but to me it is a little better than the first. But the most important thing is that it's consistent. A lot of these movies, when they do the sequel, and especially when it's like movies that don't necessarily need a sequel, you're kind of like, you see like a 2 coming, and you're like, okay, like this feels like a cash in more than anything. But I don't feel like that's what this was. This felt like a welcomed entry into the Quiet Place series. I don't know if they're gonna make a third one. I'm not gonna say anything about it, but I don't know if they're gonna make a third one. If they do, I'm gonna go into it a lot more open-minded than I did going into this one.